Hey guys, it's me, the dude who talks, and welcome to a new video. So for today, I'm going to be talking about the debut album from Underdark called Our Bodies Burn Bright on Re-Entry, which is out on the 30th of July between these record labels, Surviving Sounds, Through Love Records and Tridroid Records. I also wrote about the take on the cover of Plainsong last year, if you didn't know about that, which is on my now vacant word blog. Underdark are a post-black metal band from Nottingham in the UK. They were formed in 2015. They've released a couple of singles like the aforementioned cover of Plainsong and also The Smell of Autumn, which came out in 2018. Not only that, but they brought out an EP in 2016 called Morning Cloak. So Underdark consists of Abby Vasquez on vocals, Adam Kinson on guitar, Dan Hallam on drums, Ollie Jones on guitar, and Stephen Waterfield on bass. So with all that out of the way, what did I think of Our Bodies Burn Bright on Re-Entry? Did I like it, or do I wish this album burned completely without any trace on Re-Entry so I'd never have to listen to this album again? Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's just get into it, yeah? So, for those who want to know, Our Bodies Burn Bright on Re-Entry consists of 5 songs and clocks in at 36 minutes and 3 seconds to be exact. So let's start off with the opening track, Keres. I think that's how it's pronounced. I'm sure someone who's watching this can either confirm or correct me. If so, for the start of the song, we get this blissful sounding post-rock style melody thing. And we get a little bit of spoken word too, which was interesting and kind of reminded me of bands like Kyodot and most certainly Death Heaven. As well past this minute mark, however, you might think it would stay like this. However, that goes out the window when the harsh vocals kick in and the riff kicks in like a kick to the gut. Not only that, it kind of like flicks between the calmer stuff and then the heavy stuff like a flip of a coin, which I'm a really big fan of. The screaming sounds throaty yet having that emotional feel to it, so that's a good sign. So we're past the 2-minute mark listing wise, and it feels like it's all leading somewhere, especially when the drums are getting louder too, and then we finally get the blast beats. And I do love the drums. They sound deep and weighty and just heavy. It's like Dan Hallam is like punching them with all his might. So as I said before, the vocals have this like throaty scream, but there's moments where growls are like thrown into the mix. They sound really deep and guttural, and just add a bit of variety, which I'm a big fan of. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, let's go. Not only that, it kind of like flicks. Title track Our Bodies Burned on Re-Entry starts off fast paced from the get-go and goes straight for the throat with the guitars and drums. Though there is a couple of moments where it does change up the tempo for a brief moment or two, like this. There's moments in the song, however, as fast-paced as it is, it does take like a couple of breathers, like for a short minute or so, before it changes up again, this time more faster and aggressive. It definitely has the Sunbather era influence in terms of how heavy that album can be, and especially with how heavy this album can be. I definitely like the flick of change between like the screams and the growls on this song. However, as I was talking earlier about Death Heaven and their influence, they tap into the more softer side of like Death Heaven stuff at the second half of this song. However, this does leave off into like one of the heaviest like moments on the album where they put the foot on the accelerator right until the end of the song. Coyotes has a very delicate sounding intro to begin with, and at first I thought this was going to be like the segue or something like that, but with it being 6 minutes long, it's definitely not that though. Though it does go a bit harder a bit later, but it's a bit slower as well. feeling more like a post-metal song rather than a black metal song at first, though the atmosphere is just as intense. Though a minute later I do eat my words as it steps forward into black metal territory with blast beats. I do feel like one of the strong points about this band as a whole is subverting expectations with tempo, with the way that they can flick between slow and fast pace. I definitely also just want to randomly point out that the drums really kick ass on this. So what about the last two songs on the album called With Ashen Hands Around Our Throats and Skeleton Queen? How do they stack up? Well, with the former, With Ashen Hands, it's fast-paced, vocals hitting new highs, the screams having a much higher register, and then getting a bit deeper as well, as we get some half clean and half harsh vocals thrown into the mix as well. And this is where the trails off at the end from being like black metal and going into more like post-rock territory with the instrumental. Skeleton Queen starts off with what feels like a race between the drummer and the vocalist, and I couldn't tell who won that race. The song for me feels like Abby's really pushing it on the vocals, with the growls being more growlier and the screams feeling a bit more screamier. Yeah, I know that's expert journalism there. Also, the spoken word makes a return as well. And also, a random note about the song, there's actually trem picking towards the very end of the song, which sometimes some bands overuse it, but they've just only used it once on this record, so I just thought that wanted to. So, other than my comment about the guitars sounding a bit quiet, I don't really have any other nitpicks about this album. However, this is more of a miscellaneous comment. I'm intrigued about the artwork of the album. It makes me think of the scene in the film Nomadland with the actress Frances McDormand having a bit of, floating in a pool. And I was wondering if that artwork is like an adaptation of that scene, or is it just something else entirely? You know, I'm just curious. Overall, I will admit this took more than the first listen for this album to fully register with me, as I felt I needed to really sit down and just properly listen to it. But I'm so glad that I did that, as this album really packs a punch music-wise. It feels intense, yet very beautiful atmosphere-wise. And I would recommend it you would sit your asses down and just listen to it. Also, this is unrelated, but they're actually playing with Dawn Raid and Agari in September in Manchester, and this album has twisted my arm into going. So that was me talking about Our Bodies Burnt Bright on Re-Entry by Underdark. Are you thinking of picking up this album on the 30th of July? Please let me know if you are down below in the comments section. Like always, if you've enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe, it really helps out. I also just want to quickly plug my socials as well. I'm on Facebook and Instagram, so I'll be including links to them in the description section, so feel free to give me a like and a follow on them. So that is it from me. I've been the dude who talks. As always, you guys are fucking awesome for tuning in, and I shall see you soon. Bye.